To the big win for President Trump today, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled against the power grab by activist judges, ruling that a single district judge cannot unconstitutionally dictate national policy for the rest of America. This is a direct smackdown to Democrats doing judge shopping in Democrat districts to get nationwide injunctions to stop Trump. Justice Amy Coney Barrett wrote the opinion. The liberal bench dissented. Joining us now, U.S. constitutional lawyer Alan Dershowitz. Alan, always great and wonderful to have you back on. What did you make of this ruling when you heard it? It's being called a long overdue win for U.S. constitutional order being restored.
The only thing that shocked me is that there were three dissenters. Democratic presidents have also opposed the use of the national injunction by single judges. Virtually every scholar I know argues that single judges should never be allowed to enjoin policy. Remember, it really started when, under the administration of Franklin Delano Roosevelt, single judges tried to enjoin the New Deal. And so it's been used as a partisan weapon over the years. It's wrong. The Supreme Court should have been 9-0 on this. It's absolutely correct to prevent a single judge who's supposed to have jurisdiction only over cases and controversies under Article 3 of the Constitution to dictate a policy that ought to be made by the executive and legislative branches. So this is a great day for Republicans, for Democrats, and for all Americans who care about the proper allocation of power within our system of separation of powers.
So does it stop Democrats for good? Because U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, Professor, said today 35 out of the 40 nationwide injunctions against Trump came from just 5 liberal district courts. Basically, this is judges doing nationwide rulings for people elsewhere who aren't even involved in a lawsuit in the district where Democrats sued to stop Trump. That's a lot of injunctions out of just 5 liberal courts.
There's no question. Judge shopping is the name of the game. The American Civil Liberties Union and other radical, I call the ACLU, the Anti-Civil Liberties Union, they bring these cases. They bring them in the District of Columbia, where they know they're going to get a sympathetic judge, Boston, Massachusetts, New York City, and they get a single judge misstating the Constitution. As Justice Barrett said today, in her opinion, these judges get it wrong sometimes. And when they get it wrong, they shouldn't be allowed to impose their wrong decisions on the entire nation. And so finally, the Supreme Court, as I predicted this on this channel, I predicted this on other channels. I predicted that the Supreme Court, I thought it would be unanimous. I didn't think 3 justices would actually vote against this, but I did predict this would be the decision. It's the right decision. This will be the law forever. It will never be changed because it's the way the framers intended Article 3 of the Constitution to interact with Article 1 and 2 of the Constitution.
So, Professor, what is the immediate fallout from this? What happens to injunctions like the one from Judge Boasberg on deporting criminal illegal aliens to El Salvador, or trying to stop Trump ending funding, U.S. funding for sanctuary cities, or stopping wasteful government spending? What happens next?
Well, there are 2 things that could happen. One, the administration could go in front of these judges and say, look, withdraw your opinion. You are now in violation of the Supreme Court. That's one possibility. That's what I would advise. The other possibility is for the administration simply to ignore these injunctions and say they're no longer operative. Sure, they control the particular litigants in the case, but we're not going to be bound by them because the Supreme Court has said that single judges don't have the authority to bind the administration. Look, we live at a time when there is a battle between the judiciary and the executive. President Trump has pushed the envelope further than any president since Franklin Delano Roosevelt. So it's not surprising the Democrats would respond by pushing the envelope. But as Justice Barrett said, just because you think the executive has exceeded their constitutional power doesn't mean the judiciary should exceed its judicial power. Both branches of government have to remain within their constitutional constraints. That's what the separation of powers and checks and balances means. So this is a very good decision. system of constitutional law.
What did you make of Justice Amy Coney Barrett really exposing Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson's weak arguments against this, saying Justice Jackson's is, quote, at odds with more than 2 centuries worth of precedent, that she's at odds with the U.S. Constitution, that Justice Jackson skips over the Judiciary Act of 1789. That's a federal law that limits the judicial branch, where judges have to swear an oath to follow law. So Judge Barrett said Judge Jackson skipped over that part because it's boring legalese. And she pointed out her hypocrisy that Judge Jackson is attacking Trump's, quote, imperial presidency, but she, quote, wants an imperial judiciary.
No, I think she's absolutely right. I was surprised that the personal tone that both these justices took against each other. You know, I was a law clerk on the Supreme Court a long time ago. In those days, justices were completely deferential toward each other, called themselves the honorable this, the honorable that, but they really took their gloves off this time, and they reflected a real anger. And I think Justice Barrett gets the benefit, wins this argument, because Justice Jackson basically was citing policy. She wasn't citing the law. She was saying, it's better from my point of view if it happens this way. And I'm not going to get into this boring legalese. Well, the boring legalese is the law. We live under the rule of law, and the law can sometimes be boring, but it's binding. And so if you don't like the law, become a doctor or a philosopher. But if you're a justice of the Supreme Court, you can't say that it's legalese and boring and ignore it. So I think she doesn't come off very well in this. I like her as a person and as a justice, and I wish her well, but this is not her finest day.
Well, Professor Dershowitz, you never, ever make the law boring. You make it exciting and interesting and understandable. Thank you so much.